I like how that slap right there. You got me feeling real Horseshoes Jones, man. It's so great lace in here. Midwest finesse now, let's be clear. Northern exposure, new frontier. Good rhymes, good times, and yes, it's good beer. We be some MVPs in here. Giannis and Yelich had some good years. No time faking it, we about making it. That glass ceiling stuff, yo, I'm all about breaking it. From a small town, but I got big dreams. Change my diet up now, get more greens. Where the good fiber, the flow gone cyber. Vamos los flamingos flock tighter. All we do is give that good try. Goes ahead and playlist on Spotify. Do da-da-da-da, do just like Shy. It's that nah-nah, simple words, so fly.
What is up, Rally Heads? This is Rob Chappell. It's another edition of 608 Soccer Show Rallycast. And with me, as always, Sara Stern. How you doing?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm good. How's your husband's mood right now?
He's all right. Yeah, the game was, I think, a little more exciting than we all would have expected. But
we were recording this, listener, almost immediately after Ghana held England to a 0-0 draw. And Sara, you're married to an Englishman, so
I am. Yeah.
So there must have been some emotions.
Yeah, there were. Ghana did well, though. Respect to them, and yeah, hopefully England can win the next one.
Next one, and then the rest of them, right?
Yes. Happy household if that happens.
Right. How legitimately, how deep do you think England can go?
I mean, they're so good. They always have been good. I don't know. I don't know. I think it'd be awesome to see them go all the way, but there are so many good teams in this tournament and teams that are performing so well. Like, you've got Messi still scoring hat tricks. So, I mean,
right?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, it's been a fun tournament to watch so far, for sure. And there have been plenty of teams who've won it all who had a test like this in the group stage. So
for sure. And like, fine. I will say the U.S. is playing great too. It's fun to be a U.S. fan and see them playing well and playing strong. So I hope they go as far as they can as well.
Yep, Thursday at 9. You can watch it at Reese-Stevens Field on the big video board. They'll have it there Thursday night for the USA versus Turkey. Now we're gonna focus on Rally Madison here, which the first couple times we had these chats, we were trying to find positives in really rough results, and we found some. And the last game we talked about was the home loss, but there was a lot there positive to talk about. And that was kind of really the first time things really started to click. And they didn't get the win, but you saw some goals, you saw some really positive momentum. And then now they've run off 4 unbeaten, 3 wins where they outscored opponents like 8-1 in those 3 games. And then a big sort of come from behind, very exciting draw at home, 3-3 that we'll get into. But from your perspective, Sara, what's the switch that got flipped? What has come together in these last 4 games that has been so successful?
Yeah, this is a fun conversation to have because we have 11 goals to catch up on. And
right.
I think, like, watching the games back, it's pretty evident that they've got some incredible movement on the wing. I think they're such a powerhouse as a team because they've got fast technical players who are excited and kind of dynamic in to get forward and getting forward. I mean, they're obviously scoring a ton of goals. Last time we spoke, it was like, can they get creative on set pieces? Can they do something else? They don't have a lot of time this summer to kind of, maybe find that build-up play, but they absolutely have found it. They're clicking. And I just feel like they've really turned it on as a team collectively to collaborate like they maybe hadn't been the first half of the season. So, and one thing I will add too is I'm assuming they must train on this specifically at practice, but like their 1v1 movement is so sharp and so strong and so confident in most 1v1 situations, whether it's going to goal or, in their final third, getting out of the back getting out of their back. They're just like, they're so good. They're so good in 1v1 situations. And
kind of fearless. Like they're really willing to go at it in a way that's not
totally fearless.
It's not like selfish exactly, but when there's not a pass they're not trying to force something, but they are willing to take the risk to go 1-on-1. And we saw in this last game, Zoe Heavey put one off the crossbar and put one, and like was just right at the top of the box, just going right at the defenders and confident that I'm going to find space and beat you.
Yes.
Which is really, I mean, it's just really fun to watch.
It's really fun soccer to watch. It's so fun to watch because so many times, teams can be patient and sort of turn their backs to the goal, pass back, start over. But I love the pace that they're playing, and you can tell they're kind of ready to win some games and score some goals. So it was very nice to see them, their hard work pay off.
We talked through some. Well, then the other thing that's really seemed to be clicking for me, and tell me what you think, is that the one thing that was really lacking. It's like we had players who were ready to finish a goal, we just couldn't give them service. Like the connectivity between the midfield and the attacking third just would always just kind of peter out right there. But that seems to have been solved, and they figured out, like as you mentioned, on the wings particularly, but also just the final pass into the attacking third is clicking and hitting. And I talked both with Madi Foley and with Taylor Gordon last week. That it's a lot of just learning to anticipate each other, like just playing together for a couple months. You start to be able to anticipate,
for sure. Yeah, and it really isn't that long. Like, in the grand scheme of things, it's not that long that they've been playing together. So it's pretty special to see them flip the switch and really gel as a group. It's clear and it looks like they're having fun. It's fun to watch, and it looks like they're having fun on the field.
Yeah, they really are. And now over those 3 games that I talked about myself last week, and then this last game, are there any particular moments that really stand out to you as emblematic of what's going well?
Yeah, I would say just their final third movement. I think more people, like you said, are getting into the box. More people are ready to score and be that the game changer. And I got to call out Megan Murray because she scored 2 goals in the Edgewater Castle game. And one of them was, both of them were sort of breakaways, but her chip was smooth and clinical and confident. I thought that was a really nice finish. Taylor Gordon with a header. Heavey with the insane 1v1 shot. Like, everyone just looks so confident and hungry. And they've got a really strong attacking system right now. And I would also agree with you that collectively it's just cool to see them score a bunch of goals and kind of move together as a cohesive group, and tying 3-3, but 3 different goal scorers in this last game is still so impressive.
And to get and to it felt a little bit like that last home game that they lost, actually, where it was just like punch counter punch the whole time. Like nobody was ready to throw in the towel or hang their head. Even giving up an 88th minute goal to go behind after playing really well, like that's a gut punch. That's when you're ready to pack it in. But they didn't. They came and they scored like a minute later.
Exactly. And I think that response and kind of focusing on what's next immediately after something happens, you go down a goal or whatever it is, you can tell this team is pretty mentally strong, and they know exactly what they want to do, and they're not going to finish until they've done it.
Right. And that's the other thing, speaking of mental toughness, is that the first game that they won in the stretch, that was literally the first time they ever had a lead all season, and they kept it, and they kept their foot on the gas and scored 2 more and won 3-0, and didn't get complacent, didn't let up, it really speaks well to their mentality.
For sure.
I want to talk a little bit about this most recent game. You've been talking about set pieces this whole season. Like, if you're having trouble with everything else, get a goal on a set piece.
Right.
And they finally did. They after running up 8 in 3 games, they decided to try the set piece thing. And there's they're already down 1-0. Right, Gracie LePage, who's had the goal against them last time. Talk about 1-on-1. She basically went 1-on-3 and scored for Rockford, and then Madison kind of had been knocking on the door going into this going into this goal. They've been on the front foot. A free kick goes into the box, gets pinged around. Taylor Gordon has a crack at it, goes out for a corner. The Bailey-Welos does the corner. It goes all the way across over everybody. Elsa Maurer tracks it down touchline, goes one-on-one with the defender, beats that defender, and flings it back in. And this, do you consider this a set piece goal, even though it was like
if I'm being
second
yeah, if I'm being picky, probably not, just because it sort of goes out and comes back in. However, I think we should still count it because what I love is the consistent attack the whole time. It's still very much in play. People are there to send it back in, so we'll count it. We'll count it.
And because of the corner, Claire Shea, who's the defender, was in the box for the corner.
Right, exactly.
Right? That's why she's up there. She's up there to score the corner, and
Yes.
And the entire Rockford backline is all kind of discombobulated and out of shape, and all drifting. When the ball went over and Elsa Maurer started to bring it in, a bunch of our three of our strikers went toward the right, toward the ball, dragged the defenders with them, left the whole left channel empty, and that's where Elsa put the ball. And as soon as she saw the ball in the air, Claire Shea went and recognized it, and Bailey Wallace also was making that run to the far post in case if Claire didn't get it, Bailey was there to tap it in. So just really resilient, really well worked, and it's 1-1.
Yeah, agree. And that just shows that mentality again. You have to stay switched on in those moments when it could easily transition to the opponent, clearing it. But they stayed hungry and they got it done. So that was great.
I love it. And then Madison actually went ahead. It took till the 55th minute or something. It was 1-1 at halftime, and then Maddie Arthur actually got an interception, took 2 touches. This is like a lightning fast goal. This is why I loved it. That Maddie Arthur intercepted it, got it to Zoe Heavey. She goes again one-on-one. She runs right at the defender, gets a tiny bit of space, and flings it across to the far post and in. And that really swung the momentum back toward Madison. Yeah.
Yeah, such a good goal. So clinical, so strong.
Yeah, for sure.
Loved it.
Yeah. And Rafford got one back, of course, and then there's so it's 2-2. This is a Gracie LePage. Ball goes on the wing to Gracie LePage. Our defender kind of misjudged it, gets back in, and she cuts it across to Ali Saviano for a tap in. Really nicely worked team goal. Kind of tip your cap at that one. Now you have just gotten a look at maybe one of the pivotal moments of the match. Late in the match, Taylor Gordon finds Zoe Heavey. Zoe Heavey's going into the box, one-on-one with Gabrielle Coyne. Looks to me like a foul, looks to me like a penalty. You can see when I'm videoing from my phone from my seat at the end of the stadium, you can see my hand go pointing at the spot. Obviously a penalty. What I love about it, and I mean, you were just looking at the video, thought maybe she got a toe on the ball.
Yeah, I can't really I need a close-up. But it does look like she may have gotten a toe, but it's too close to tell.
Now, if it is too close to call like that, would you rather a referee let it go, or
depends? Depends what position I'm in. I don't know.
Depends which team it is.
Yeah, exactly.
It is. I mean, that is a call that could decide the game at that point, right? And sometimes the referee will be like, if it's not obvious, I'm not going to call it. It looked pretty obvious to me.
Yeah. Here's the thing: I wouldn't have questioned it too much if it was a pen. It just was. Yeah. It was close.
Yeah. Tenzin Rampo, the assistant coach who was managing this game, because Juliana Oliveira was out of town, was on the field. He's kind of lucky he didn't.
Oh, really?
Yeah. He was you can see him sort of in the bottom of the video, but he's a step or two onto the pitch with his arms up, kind of yelling. So he's a little lucky he didn't get booked for that.
Yeah,
but.
to be fair, like the team was as well, right? And sometimes that can make a difference. I love teams that sort of, say the ball is ours if it goes out of bounds, or, stands up for your teammates when they get knocked down. Like, you kind of have to do that because at times that does influence a ref's decision.
Yeah.
Or it can.
The other thing I loved about this moment is the amount of booing and whistling the referee got from the crowd, who were obviously very emotionally invested in this team and in this game, and and knew enough to know that it was a bad call. And it's I don't know, it's fun to be in a when you're wondering, is this fanhood going to really embrace this women's team?
Yeah,
we were mad, like we're invested, like and then another momentum swing just a couple minutes later. Really good individual effort from Gracie LePage. Defended well. She's dancing all over the top of the box, finds 6 inches of space, and shoots back across her body to beat Millie Zellman. That's the 88th minute. You're like, oh, great, but they didn't let up. They
didn't.
They started from way back from Millie Zellman. This is only like a minute and a half later. She's way out of her box. She's like, I'm going to start the attack from here, from 50 yards out. And she gets it all the way up to Bradley Waylos, drops it to Maddie Arthur. She's probably 50 yards from the goal and way on the left touchline, and puts it just on a dime just outside the 6-yard box, which was brilliant. And
beautiful.
Yeah, it wasn't particularly to anybody, but it's like, I'm going to put it in a dangerous spot. I hope one of you can get it. And Trinity Wittenbach ran onto it, and it didn't quite. It wasn't exactly a tap in. Like she did put some juice on it, and had to cut it back across to get it away from the keeper. But the goalkeeper was trying to say she was offside, but she was way in behind by the time she got the ball. But she was outside the box with the whole backline in front of her when the ball was played, so that wasn't even a question. But just a really brilliant ball in, and a great finish from Trinity.
For sure. And just to rewind, Malia had an incredible save this game. She
yes
was jumped as high as the crossbar. It was incredible.
Yes. That was a shot from distance that was about to go just sneak under the bar.
Yeah,
and she had to go up and get it.
But yeah, back to this goal, another clinical finish. Like, this is another example of them just being hungry and crashing the net, like we talked about last time. But yeah, they're taking care of business.
Yeah, and it was mentioned resiliently, right? I mean, you saw some. They had a couple of wins in this stretch that were not easy, but like convincing. But then in between those 2 3-0 wins, there was Rockford again that they had to come back, and they were down 1-0 and they came back and scored twice, including in the 90th minute. That's terrific mentality.
Yeah,
right?
For sure. And I imagine this is just one of those moments where, as a team, they probably train really well together. Again, you think of culture, and they're all they have local connections, and I'm sure they bond over that, and are tight because of that. But now that it's finally clicking in games and they're on a roll, and they've got 2 more games to finish out strong. It's such a nice place to be, for them to kind of finish out their summer and time together. So
I mean, yeah, and it's conceivable that this team that lost its first 6 matches could end up in like 3rd or 4th place in the division, which would be right. I don't know, pretty remarkable.
Sitting pretty in the middle is not a bad thing. Like, they've come a long way, I think, since the beginning of this season, and they really turned it around. Yeah. And what's cool about them as a group is thinking, if they all do return, or most of them, have the opportunity to return, they hopefully will pick up where they left off.
Yeah. Think of if they took those first month and a half, 2 months, not even 2 months. This whole season is not even 2 months, but like the first several weeks, and we're able to come together this well. Think of what they'll be able to do next year if a substantial core is able to return. So yeah, Wednesday night they have Racine Kenosha, RKC Third Coast, which it's a game they really should have won. They were on the front foot the entire match, but they hadn't figured out that final piece yet, and didn't punch any goals in, and ended up conceding late and lost that 1-0. So that's a game that feels we could probably get. And then we go against Edgewater again, which we beat 3-0 last time down in Chicago. And that's all she wrote. Then it's done, and we have our first women's soccer season in the books after Friday.
Love it.
So we will we'll try to do one more sort of season wrap up maybe next week or sometime soon after those last two matches, and
yeah, for sure.
We'll see where we go. And Sarah, great talking to you again. Thank you so much.
Always a pleasure. Thank you.
And we'll be right back right after this with Madi Foley. And joining us now from Bree Stevens Field remotely, Madi Foley. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Doing great, thank you. Thanks for the time. Really appreciate it. And usually when I interview a player for the first time, I say welcome to Madison, but that's not a problem for you because you're from here.
Yes, I am.
Now, we have to mention Madi is short for Madison. So was there ever any doubt that you would play for Rally Madison? Like, it just makes sense.
There
right?
wasn't. I was honestly super excited to get the opportunity to be part of this team and be back in Madison. Yeah. So it was definitely a great return to my hometown.
Yeah, that's great. Now you played for Edgewood High School, right? What was your give me your soccer journey up to that point, like club, youth, etc.
Yeah, so my youth soccer journey, I finished throughout high school and like late middle school with Madison 56ers. So just traveling with them and even getting to play with a few of the girls that are now on the rally team throughout the years.
That's cool. Soccer is a very small world, right? So like
yes,
we talked about that with some of the other players, that this is a team that all came together very quickly, but you all kind of do each other.
Right.
Right. Yes. If you played against them or with them or whatever, but
between club or high school, we definitely knew of each other.
Yeah, for sure. Now, at what point in your youth did soccer become like the thing for you? Like you realized like, okay, I'm actually better than this and everybody else.
I started playing when I was like 4 or 5 years old, just like rec soccer. And then as the years went on and the number of sports that I could do in a given season as a kid decreased, I just kept finding myself wanting to go back to soccer. My mom played in college too. So she was always super excited to see me really interested in continuing to go back. But I think one of the things that I always loved was just scoring. Since I was super young, I just loved being able to score for my team. And then as I got older, I kept scoring, or I'd score more than the other kids on the team. And so I was like, oh, maybe I should keep this up.
Now, what was I going to ask you? So then, what were the other sports that you were interested in as a kid?
When I was younger, I did everything from gymnastics and skiing, basketball, volleyball, dance. I kind of had to try it all out.
And soccer was the one that stuck.
Soccer was the one that stuck. I played basketball throughout high school too, but those were the only two that kind of made it through to like now.
I talked with Taylor Gordon about this last week too. That there's some skills that kind of translate between the two. What did you bring from playing basketball to the soccer field?
I think that my agility is something that I think transferred well, and just being able to almost anticipate passes. That was one thing. I was more of a defender mindset player in basketball, which is funny because I play offense for soccer, but I still think like being able to steal passes in lanes and stuff and be able to predict where the other team might be playing allows me to press better as a forward. And I think like going up to win balls out of the air in the box is something like kind of like rebounding that I compare to.
You ever tempted to like reach up and grab? 'Cause you can't do that.
Thankfully, I was able to keep that instinct to a minimum.
Right. Uh, yeah, and then you then play for Edgewood. You had a lot of success there. Talk to me about the recruiting process how you landed at Washington
Yeah,
University in St. Louis.
so I started my recruiting process a little bit later. I think with COVID and everything that happened
Mm-hmm.
my freshman year of high school, so I didn't get a freshman season of
Oh.
soccer. So then
Mm-hmm.
by the time that the recruitment timeline opened my sophomore year, I only had one season of high school, like halfway under my belt. But I
Mm-hmm.
think that I just started going to camps early on. And it was actually funny because I had never heard of WashU. And my mom was helping me look for different colleges in the Midwest. And we kind of stumbled upon it. And I reached out. They were going through a coaching change at the time. So they were also on a
Mm-hmm.
bit more of a delayed recruitment timeline. So it kind of worked out perfectly that then the coach was looking while I was still looking later in the process. And I went down for a visit and it was just a perfect match. I loved the campus. Camp went great when I went there for an ID camp and I just fell in love with it right away.
And that's in St. Louis. What's the city of St. Louis like as compared to growing up in Madison?
Yeah, I definitely think that it's a little bit more separate from where the campus is. So the campus is like 10 minutes
Oh,
outside of the city, which
oh,
is
really?
kind
Wow.
of nice to still get that campus feel, but then you can still like go
Mm-hmm.
to Cardinals games. And I really like that the sport culture is very similar to Madison, just like having a lot of team pride. So I've noticed that, which is fun because I'm definitely a big sports fan for whoever I'm rooting
Mm-hmm.
for, honestly. So
There,
it's nice to be able to go in for a fun Cardinals game or a Blues game and everyone's super excited around you. So it's always a great environment to be a part of, just like the sporting culture here.
Mm-hmm. So that new coach, I didn't realize that there was a whole coaching change and like a rebuild as you were getting there because it was successful pretty quickly, right? You've got 2 NCAA titles under your
Yes.
belt, right? Um,
Yes, we do.
how do you how does a college team it's Division 3, right? So there's a
Mhm.
ton. There's like a massive number of Division 3 soccer programs, which means to win it
Yes.
is a massive achievement. So congratulations on that.
Thank
But
you.
how does that? How do you go about winning a national title at that level? I mean, what makes Washington U's team special?
I think the biggest thing for us is the unwavering commitment to the same goal, but
Mm,
also understanding that the goal isn't just to win the title, it's the little details along the way. It's keeping shutouts on our home field. It's being
mm,
undefeated on our home field.
mhm,
It's making sure that mentally we're prepared for every game, non-conference, conference, no matter the opponent. And it's the mental toughness to make sure that in those last minutes of a game that might determine a win or a loss, how you're responding and how you really stick together as a team. And so I think overall, like the buy-in and the commitment of my teammates is second to none
mm,
that I've seen, which is
mhm.
other college programs. And I just think that that's why year after year, we're able to trust that the process that we've set in stone works because now we're like seeing the results again and again. And it's been really rewarding to see because that just keeps the motivation high to continue to buy
Yeah,
into what we're
right.
doing.
Right. And had you played any summer club soccer during college, or is this your first like
This is my first
off
year
season?
playing. Yeah.
And tell me about how this experience has or what you've learned in this couple of months here that you've been here back home playing for Raleigh Madison that you're going to be able to take now. You're going into your junior season at WashU, right?
My senior year.
Oh, you're okay, senior year. So
Mhm.
what can you take from this Raleigh Madison experience now you can bring back to Washington?
Yeah, I think it's honestly been amazing being surrounded by so much talent and being able to see the perspectives of girls from programs all across the country, across all different levels, and just hearing advice or perspectives from them of what they've taken away from their programs. And I
Hmm.
think that everybody on the team has had so much amazing advice and talent to provide to practice and just like the locker room that creates a really good environment for all of us to
Hmm.
get better with each other and like for
Hmm.
each other.
Hmm.
So I really enjoyed just being able to learn so much from girls that I don't spend August to May with. So it's
Right.
been nice to be able to learn from them and what they're able to take away
Mhm.
from their team's experiences too.
And the Madison season obviously got off to a rough start, but has really clicked, and you're now unbeaten in the last four. What is it that turned the corner? Like what is it that has flipped the switch to get this team to be more successful?
Yeah, I think that all of the girls have just been able to get a chance to get to know each other better and really
Mhm.
kind of rally around each other, no pun intended, but we're able to come together and just work for each other and find our rhythm. And I think that just getting a better understanding of how each of us play and being able to take all of these unique playing styles from different programs and finally get them to work together,
Mhm.
as well as just, wanting to play for each other, wanting to work hard for each other and for the fans, for the entire program has been super rewarding. And so I think that just finally getting it to mesh. I think every team kind of goes through. That's why they have non-conference games in college too, because you kind of
Oh,
have to
sure.
get into a rhythm first and then you're ready for the second half of your season. And so I think that I'm really proud of all the girls that have come together and put together some great results the past few games because it's definitely turned it around for the better.
Mm-hmm. And now you'll have a couple more games here, and then you'll head back to St. Louis, back to Washington University for your senior season. Where does your soccer journey go next, do you think, or do you hope?
Well, I told myself this summer, if it was going to be my last summer, that I wanted to get in as much soccer as I could because I love the sport so much. It's been like such a huge part of my life for so long.
Okay.
I think right now I'm just focused on being the best version of myself for my team this fall. I want to finish on a great year. We've had 2 back-to-back national championships at this point.
Mm-hmm.
So I definitely think me and the rest of my senior class are hoping for a third. But at the end of the day, I just want to be able to enjoy the sport one last fall with my teammates and then
Mm-hmm.
see where it takes me. If it does take me anywhere else, I'd be happy to continue playing. But right now I'm just focused on an awesome senior year.
That's awesome. And you got 2 more games to focus on. You got a game at home Wednesday, and then a game home Friday, and then that wraps it up. What's it been meant to you to be part of something brand new here for Madison? Bringing women's soccer to Madison, which we've been talking about for years, and it's finally here. You're part of it. How exciting has that been?
It's been honestly such an amazing experience. I am so thankful that I got this opportunity to be part of such an amazing team in such an amazing year.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't be more proud of the work that we've all put into this team. And I'm so grateful for the support that Madison has shown us. It's truly made the experience something that I'll never forget. And I'm so lucky to have been a part of. Um, so, yeah, the last 2 games, I'm just super excited to put on a good performance for
Mm-hmm.
everybody that's shown us so much support in this first year and welcomed us to Madison. So I'm just looking forward to the next 2 games to continue to showcase what we've worked so hard to produce this season.
Awesome. Madison Foley, thank you so much for the time, and best of luck in the last 2 games, and best of luck in your senior season.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right. And finally, we're going to go around the Heartland division just a little bit. This is nothing that's happened this week is going to impact the playoffs or the table. Minnesota has just run away with it, as they always have. But I want to keep touching base on these other teams just so that for myself, as I follow Raleigh into the next season, I kind of have a sense as to who else is in the division, what other teams are good, and what other names to listen for. And I just want to share that with you. So we're just going to run through a few games here just from the past week. On June 17th, last Wednesday, Minnesota Aurora 2-0 over Sioux Falls. Minnesota got goals in the 6th from Ai Kitagawa and the 8th from Maya Tabion, and they just locked it down from there. Also Wednesday, Riverlight 4-1 over RKC. Georgia Leapis opened it up with a goal just 3 minutes in, remained 1-0 until the break, and then 4 minutes into the second half. So the beginning of the first half, the beginning of the second half, RKC not so good at keeping goals out. Gabriel Smith doubled the lead for Riverlight just 4 minutes into the second half. Caroline Birdsell added another in the 54th. RKC did get one back, a bit of a defensive breakdown, leaving Annalise Black all alone in the left channel. She's able to finish, and that's in the 66th. But if that gave RKC any hope, that hope was dashed 1 minute later. Ann Fitzgerald took a through ball in behind at the other end and finished it for Riverlight to make it 4-1, and that's the final score. Then on Saturday, Sioux Falls and Edgewater Castle played to a 1-1 draw. Maddie Donovan, absolute banger right on the half-hour mark. Out of nothing, just rips a shot from 33 yards. And we know it's 33 yards because they're playing on an American football field. So you can see she shot from the 23-yard line through the end zone and into the goal. Beautiful strike. Elise DeShriver equalized for Edgewater just before halftime. They were found a bit of space among three defenders. It was a winger on the right wing, and DeShriver in the middle, and like 3 or 4 defenders in the box, and somehow the ball found her foot and went in to make it 1-1. That was just before halftime, and that's how it ended. Minnesota 4, Riverlight 1, also on Saturday. Riverlight did something in this match that no other team has done this season, and that is score a goal on Minnesota and Aurora. Aurora struck first. They got one in the 14th from, of course, who else but Ai Kitagawa. Then in the 28th, Riverlight earned a corner. It wasn't fully cleared. It gets played back into the box. One player, I can't remember who, looked like she was going to head it, but missed, so it kind of ended up being a dummy. And then Victoria Adams came just streaking in from the left channel and nodded it in. Minnesota were unbothered, of course. They get one right on the stroke of halftime back to take the lead from Flavia Dubé. They got another in the 52nd from, again, Ai Kitagawa, and then a fourth in the 81st from Amelia Brown. But their goal differential is now down to plus 32. They've scored 33 goals. They've conceded that one. They had 9 consecutive clean sheets. But Victoria Adams, right? Was it Victoria Adams? Is that the name? Yeah, Victoria Adams got the one goal against Minnesota this season. And then the last game of the day on Saturday, RKC, fresh off a 4-1 loss to Riverlight, they turn around and put 5 on Rochester. 5-0. This game, it's just crazy sometimes. This one stayed level for nearly the entire first half. RKC broke it open with goals 3 minutes apart. First from Gabriela Barushik in the 41st, and next from Haley Johnson in the 44th. And then they just poured it on in the second half. Annalise Black, who scored, you heard that name earlier. She's the one who scored against Riverlight. She got a brace in the course of 3 minutes. She scored in the 54th and in the 57th. And then Callie Hefner finished it off in the 71st. So that puts our standings at Minnesota Aurora first, obviously, the 30 points from 10 matches. Sioux Falls City in second with 17 points. So 13 points separates first and second place. Then Riverlight with 19, Edgewater Castle with 15, Madison with 10, Rockford with 10. We are ahead of Rockford on goal differential. That's not true. They're actually ahead of us on goal differential. Theirs is -5, ours is -7. I'm not sure. They have them swapped in the table. Anyway, Rockford should be 5th. We should be 6th. And then RKC is in 7th with 8 points, and Rochester FC in the wooden spoon position with 6. And as you mentioned, we now play RKC at home and Edgewater Castle at home, depending on how other results fall in this last week. We could end up as high as 4th place. We could end up in 4th or 5th place, probably is most likely, which is a pretty respectable for of first season. All right, that's what we have for you today. We will have another Fort Madison episode for you this week, in the next day or two. There's no game this weekend, right? So, and the next week we'll have something else. We won't have a game report for Fort Madison, but we will have something. I'm not sure what exactly, but we will have one more rallycast for you next week to kind of wrap up these last two matches and just kind of a season retrospective, we hope. So hope you've enjoyed listening to this, and have a wonderful week. And we'll talk to you again soon. Up the Roses. The 608 Soccer Show is part of the 365 Media Network, hosted by Rob Chappell and Ethan Maurice, produced by Rob Chappell, with a theme song by Rob Dees. Follow the show on Instagram and Blue Sky at 608 Soccer, and remember to subscribe or follow on your favorite podcast app.